Chapter 4. We Want Di. Charles and Diana had a new London home. This home was an apartment or flat in Kensington Palace. Some other members of the royal family had apartments in Kensington Palace too. The Queen's sister, Princess Margaret, lived there. Princess Margaret had a party for Charles and Diana and the baby. Charles also had a house in Gloucestershire, in the west of England. This house was called Highgrove. It was near the home of Camilla and Andrew Parker Bowles. Charles and Camilla often went hunting together in the countryside near Highgrove. After Prince William was born, Diana became ill. She began to have problems with eating. She had an illness called bulimia nervosa. She often ate a lot of food, then made herself sick. Charles was worried about his wife, but he did not understand her problems. Diana started to look unwell. She became very thin. Some newspaper reporters began to ask questions about her health. Diana read these stories in the newspapers, and she became very unhappy. In March 1983, Charles and Diana went to visit different places in Australia. They took the baby Prince William with them. This tour of Australia was very successful. It was the beginning of Di mania. Everybody was crazy about Diana. Everybody loved her and wanted to see her. Hundreds of photographers came from countries all over the world. They all wanted photos of Diana for their newspapers. Charles and Diana visited many of Australia's cities. Almost 1 million people came to see them. In each city, Charles and Diana did a walkabout. They walked in the crowded city streets and talked to the people. But the people wanted to see Diana more than Charles. "We want Di," they shouted. Later that year, Charles and Diana went on a tour of Canada. This tour was also a big success. But again, the people's favourite was Diana, not Charles. This was very difficult for Charles. Diana was very good at talking to people. She talked to people of all ages, old and young. She talked to sick people too. When she smiled at people, they felt happy. A newspaper in America wrote, "Diana is the most popular woman in the world." The French magazine Paris Match wrote, "Diana is more popular than the actress Brigitte Bardot." Charles and Diana went on holiday in April 1983 to the Bahamas. The photographers took pictures of them on a beach. Charles and Diana walked hand in hand. They looked happy and in love. Diana became pregnant again. On the 15th of September 1984, the baby was born. It was another boy. His name was Prince Henry Charles Albert David. Everyone called him Prince Harry. Now William had a brother. Soon after Harry was born, Diana started to work for charities, groups which help people in need. She became president of Barnardo's, the children's charity. She visited Barnardo's children's homes all over the UK, United Kingdom, and talked to people there. Some people in Barnardo's had very sad lives. They felt better when they talked to Diana about their problems. And Diana was good at listening to their stories. The newspapers loved writing about Diana's clothes and hair. When the Queen opened Parliament one year, the newspapers were not very interested. Diana's clothes were more important. In 1985, Charles and Diana went on tours to Italy, Australia, and the USA, the United States of America. In America, Charles and Diana visited President Reagan and his wife, Nancy. President Reagan gave a big dance for the couple. Diana wore a beautiful black dress and danced with the famous actor John Travolta. She looked very happy. Diana was no longer shy Di. She was beautiful, and she could dress well. She had a wonderful smile. But she also cared about people. She talked to them and made them happy. Everyone loved her. But at this time, some reporters started writing about problems in Charles and Diana's marriage. They said that there were big differences between Charles and Diana. Diana is a very young 24. Charles is a very old 36, wrote one newspaper.